Hey everyone, I am diving into this book called More Sales, Less Marketing. It's a business book with a fresh approach on something that often makes us want to cringe, doesn't it? Like when we talk about selling, it can be really stressful, and this is quite a fresh take on selling. So let me know what you think. I'm going to dive right in. The author is Frances Pratt. She's actually a friend of mine, and this is the bright, delicious book, More Sales, Less Marketing. Love or hate it, and I'm tipping that if you've picked up this book, you're in the second category. The truth is that all businesses sell to stay alive. Selling is one of the oldest professions known to humankind. There's nothing wrong with selling, and here's the truth. Once you understand this, you'll find that owning this role in your business is liberating. More than that, following the yellow brick road outlined in this book will allow you to grow and prosper without feeling like you're selling your soul. So, read on, precious reader. Embrace your feelings and work with me through this book. Let me take you to the movie The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy first lands in Oz. She's frightened. Everything has turned from black and white to technicolor. The only familiar things are Toto and her house. To add to this, she has killed someone, and there is the murmur of people she can't see twittering around her. Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, comes floating down in a magnificent frock in her bubble. Her first job is to get Dorothy off her porch. She doesn't need to answer every question just to get Dorothy to take her first step. Let me be your Glinda. Come off the porch and let me show you the yellow brick road to the Emerald City of the love selling. Chapter 1. I hate selling. People lose a lot of time in hating others, and there's no fun in it at all. L. Frank Baum. Now, what to do about that? The chapter and this book is for business owners who cringe at the very idea of selling, and because of that, they don't sell. I am sure you've heard the advertisements on the radio stating proudly, "We don't have salespeople," and this always makes me laugh. And then I think to myself, how are you in business? Every business started by selling something to someone. The business owner overcame their fear, talked to people, and asked them to buy. And when I write this, it sounds so easy, right? But I know you picked up this book because you don't feel this way. You don't, kind of want to push people. You fear that they will think you're selfish, demanding, pushy, and salesy if you ask. Selling or being salesy is one of the greatest fears for new and highly accomplished business people. And yet they overcome this fear. Why? Their desire to change the world, be of service, and offer value that helps them overcome it. But here's something I know. The business people who don't overcome this fear fail. You can learn to love selling. I've spoken with so many people who hate selling, and I've been able to turn them around to loving it. That's a bold statement, I know. But I have seen it time and time again. Connecting what you do with why people want to buy from you opens up a whole kaleidoscope of new options and adventures. It offers freedom to both your clients and you. Your job now is to trust me, suspend that doubt, do the work, and reap the rewards. Why people hate to sell. I've learned three things from selling with and helping people reframe their distrust of selling. Number one, people hate to sell because they think it's about manipulating people into buying something from them, something that they don't need or can't afford and don't want. In their minds, they conjure up a picture of the dodgiest, slimiest salesperson in the world and then try everything in their power over their words, actions, and intentions for people not to think of them that way. People hate to sell. Number two, people hate to sell because they don't like the idea of someone saying no or asking questions that might interfere with their perception of the value they deliver to their customers. And number three, people hate to sell because they focus on themselves, the seller, and not their client, the buyer. That's the Mac Daddy, I reckon. The truth is that people are often so scared of what others might think of them that they might seem as pushy or salesy, and this stops them from even trying because the idea is so irksome. These thoughts prevent them from selling the right way and often create exactly the experience they're trying to avoid. Where do these ideas come from? The truth is that there is great selling and bad selling. I'm sure you have had the experience of walking into a shop and feeling like you're being targeted. You feel that the salesperson in the shop is only interested in what's in your wallet and how much you have to spend. Equally, there are times when you walk into a shop and feel totally out of place and you're not welcome because the salesperson in that shop shows you exactly what they're thinking, that they are disinterested and think that you're a waste of time. Both of these examples of bad selling. Let's understand bad selling. What is it? One, they talk at you. Bad sellers start by talking. They talk at you. They try to push you down a particular path before understanding you and your needs. Number two, they make it about them. They make it about what they want and not what you need. They need the sale or the money. They show you that in their words, actions. Number three, they focus on the quickest path to what they want. They don't give you time to ask questions, explore, or discover. They use all the tactics employed to achieve their end as quickly as possible. And number four, they handle objections. Objections are obstacles to what they want. Objections are the enemy of the sale. They treat them with disdain and with the disrespect that they think that they deserve. I call bad selling crocodiles and dinosaurs. Bad selling has been around forever. It has had successes, but these are diminishing. It is the attitude and methodology that has had its day. In short, bad sellers are dinosaurs. Yes, this way of selling still exists, but, and it's a big but, their time is over. When I hear people talk about this, I remind them about crocodiles and dinosaurs. Yes, there are crocodiles, but just because there are crocodiles still on Earth doesn't mean that we're in the age of the dinosaurs. The truth is that bad selling is dying. It's dying because it's no longer effective, because it doesn't represent who and what we are as consumers, and it isn't what businesses and business owners want to be part of. Today, consumers are more intelligent, better researched, and savvier. They see through the shim sham and vote with their feet and their wallets. I'm sure you've experienced bad selling, but you don't have to choose to be like this to succeed. And I encourage you not to. Business success comes from embracing great selling. And this book will convince you that there's such a thing as great selling. It's accessible and possible for you to implement, and you can start today. Ooh, that's exciting. I bet you've come into contact with some dinosaurs and some crocodiles in your life. I sure have. And sometimes I've bought them, and then you get that kind of regret, don't you? So it's interesting. Let's keep reading. The three keys to great selling. There are three areas to work on when you approach great selling. Number one, mindset. Thinking like a great salesperson and eliminating the flim-flam dodgy image in your mind. Number two, activity. Once you have your mind right, it's time to take actions that follow and reinforce this mindset. And number three, results. Lastly, we must reframe how you view your sales results. Getting the desired results from actions aligning with your values creates a virtuous cycle. When you get this virtuous cycle working for you, you will see the true power of great selling and it will feel less yucky. You will enjoy or even love selling. And I have countless people that tell me that just that. Here's a quote. I would never have thought that I would actually say that. I love selling. So let's take this journey together and I will release you from your business. Release you and your business. It starts in the mind. This step is imperative. If you approach your client when you are not in the right frame of mind, you will waste your time, frustrate yourself, and reconfirm the idea that you can't do selling. You will reinforce the crocodile of bad selling and falter before you start. We will cover this more in chapter 3, but here are the three key steps. Number one, mindset. Think like a salesperson. Know what you think. Be honest with yourself about how you feel about sales and selling. Once we have that out on the table, we can change it. Choose to think differently about sales. Great selling is not pushy, interruptive, manipulative, or painful. Great selling is helping someone who has a problem fix that problem or fulfill a need. It's that simple. Stop thinking about it as selling and start thinking about it as helping people buy. The key to thinking like a salesperson is to focus on your client and not make it about you. Let's read that again. The key to thinking like a salesperson is to focus on your client and not make it about you. Step two, activity. Focus on doing the right things. Okay, you have your head in the right space. Now let's get out there and use your new attitude for good. Get organized. Make time to go out and talk to current and prospective clients about what you do. Have daily, weekly, and monthly targets for staying in contact with people by picking up the phone or seeing them. Be open and transparent about your sales process. You are here to guide your clients, so build a client roadmap, a step-by-step guide on how you engage with them. Then follow up. Have a strategy for following up with your clients. An easy way to do this is to ensure you have the next step with your client. We have more, obviously, she has more and more on this as we read through this book. Step three, results and rewards. You have the right mindset and you're doing the work. Well done. Now keep going. One great way to help you focus is to have the clarity on what you're trying to achieve and to reward yourself as taking steps towards that. Know what you want to achieve. Set goals. How many new clients do you want to sign up and in what time frame? What extra income does your business need? Make it crunchy. More on that in chapter 8. Break down your goals and set and track monthly and weekly goals so you can see and reward the progress and make yourself accountable. Put a big poster on the wall with your targets and your achievements and make it public. Reward yourself. Each new client meeting you attend, a new proposal you get out there, and the phone calls you make get you closer to your goal. Celebrate. Whatever your position is, hot chocolate or champagne. Be sure to let people know by doing a happy dance or whatever your preferred method is. Great selling is helping people buy. When I'm working with teams, I often ask them to tell me about a great sales experience that they've had, and very often they can't. The reason is that when you are the recipient of a great sales experience, it feels like someone's helped you buy something you need or want by helping you understand how it can help you. Right there is the essence of great selling. It isn't pushy or self-oriented. It focuses on helping the other person solve the problem or fulfill a need. It focuses on them and their buying processes, helps them make good buying decision irrespective of the outcome. Great selling has a process. And as we run through this process, I want you to keep this front and center in your mind. Great selling is helping people buy. It's about them and not about you. It's about helping them fix a problem or fulfill a need. And when you get this first piece of the puzzle right, the rest of the process follows logically. Feels better, and it is better. Step one, listening. If you're wanting, if you're going to want to help someone, you first need to know what they do and don't want. Sometimes this is an easy process. Sometimes you can glean it from their actions and reactions. Listening involves all your senses and is isolated from the rest of the sales process. I mean that you can't, that until you are sure you understand the person, you can't move on to the next step. People buy something because they have a problem or need. You are here to help them uncover and understand that need, and that's listening. Step two, find a fit. Where are you? They have a problem and you have a potential solution to that problem. Now, the question is, does it fit? Walk your client through the fit to their budget, time frame, and other needs. Fitting things together is about explaining how your solution meets their needs and solves their problem. And the best way to demonstrate this is to use stories of people you've helped. What was their problem? How did you help them? And what was the result? There will never be one story that encapsulates your client's needs and motivations, so it's important to explore different solutions until you're sure you're on the right track. Sometimes there isn't a fit. When this happens, be honest and say so. You can still be helpful by helping your client find someone else who might work with them. How do you know you're on the right track? Well, that involves more listening. Listen with your eyes and brain to see and interpret facial expressions and body language. More in chapter 14. Step 3, look for objections. They are there waiting. The sooner you get your client to bring them out, the sooner you can answer them. If they're common objections that I think will be relevant to this client, I often try to bring it up first. For example, I've worked with several clients that have a similar business, and initially they were worried about XYZ. Once we had been through the solution and they'd spoken to some of our clients, they were happy that this wouldn't happen with our solution. And once you've uncovered and answered one objection, it creates trust and allows more discussions and objections. Step 4, create value. You know when a sales relationship works well because you create value for all parties. At a minimum, this is you, the client, and your business. However, this may well encompass the community and other stakeholders. A great sale is one where everyone wins. I'll say that again. A great sale is one where everyone wins. Number one, if you take a view that you're always going to look to create value, then the other precursor steps make sense. Step 2, in Australia, it's estimated that 20% of new small businesses will fail in their first year, and up to 60% of startup businesses fail within 5 years of launching. And these numbers come from the ASB-FEO, the Australian Small Business and Family Ombudsman. And number 3, failure in business can be avoided if we just get out there and embrace our clients and help them to understand all the value that we have to offer them. But in order to do this, you first have to understand the value, not from your perspective, but from theirs. I know that I've put a lot into this first chapter, and there's a reason for that. I want you to keep going. The rest of the book is about helping you break down all these ideas and putting it into action. I've already mentioned The Wizard of Oz. It's one of my favorite stories. And if you've ever heard me speak, I'm sure you'll have heard me talk about it. So for the duration of the book, you are Dorothy. But there would be no no story if Dorothy chose to stay in fear and not get off her porch. If she decided not to explore and stayed with Toto, she wouldn't have discovered anything new about herself. She wouldn't have had the adventures, discovered her strengths, and found her way home. I ask you to take my hand, get off the porch, and let me introduce you to the yellow brick road of great selling. I know you'll thank me. So, as a reader of this book, I love this book, and I encourage you to read it too.